Live from HBFO Channel 6, Bloke in a Pub, Matthew Mills. Higgs Boson family, you stay classy. Hello and welcome to the lucky dip of financial insights that is Bloke in a Pub, and I am your star prize, Matthew Mills. Hi. Now, I promised you in December that we would only give you good news. So what I'm not going to talk about is government policies around the world towards COVID-19, or SARS-CoV-2 as it should be properly called. I'm definitely not going to give you anything about the B word or the vacillations around Brexit that are going on at the moment. Instead, what I thought we'd have a quick chat about is the prospects for next year, which are decidedly positive. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, basically the world has been shut down economically by government's responses to COVID-19. But it looks like we've got some light at the end of the tunnel for a number of reasons. One is there are a number of vaccines coming online. The other is that it looks very much as if the virus is becoming self-limited. So as Matt Hancock said, it looks like it's mutated, and it has in fact mutated about 14,000 times, Mr. Hancock, just in case you weren't paying attention to the scientific literature, which is not actually my job, is it? And it's becoming weaker. So although infection rates are going up, then it looks as if death rates are coming down. And there's no excess mortality at this time of year compared to any other time of year. So it looks as if we're starting to come out the other end, and that we can also be confident we're coming out the other end because we'll have a vaccine, so that the economy can start to reopen and we can get back to something like normal. Now, when that happens, it's entirely likely that the pent-up demand, so for example, for a person sitting at this table who just really wants to go to the Maldives, I'll be able to do that again and start spending money and getting planes in the air and going off and doing that kind of thing. Shops will be open to sell products that are then being made to supply for that demand. So that all looks really positive. In the meantime, also, government fiscal policy and central bank monetary policy is clearly doing whatever it needs to support that transition until it actually starts getting cranked up. So I think we can probably expect next year to start slowly and then to see a very significant uptick in investment performance as we go into the back of next year. What should we be thinking about as investors? Well, first and foremost, that monetary policy that we talked about from the central banks means that interest rates will be kept very, very low, really for the foreseeable future. And that then calls into question things like, in a portfolio, if we have bond holdings, bonds being loans to companies that pay interest to investors, is that those interest payments will be very, very low. So we might need to start thinking about getting returns from other assets in a portfolio. And we already do some of that, and we'll say more about that as we go into next year. Another big theme that I think we need to be mindful of is it looks as if, whereas the US has typically been the powerhouse of the economy and investment returns, and certainly has been this year, and it represents about 51% of global capital, that the Asian markets have actually weathered this much more effectively and have recovered much faster. And so we might see that it's actually Asia and the Eastern economies that actually drive that recovery much more than developed markets going into next year. So there's two really important things we need to think about as we go into next year, the outlook for which is broadly positive and is a really great good news story for investors to hang on to in a year that we'd really rather see the back of, to be honest with you. And on that note, we'll see you next time.